Breaking news, the NFL trade deadline is officially getting going here. I just filmed a full video, was about to publish, but going to put this on the front end of the video. Jakobi Meyers has been traded from the Raiders to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 2026 fourth and a 2026 sixth-round pick. The Steelers were apparently in the mix as well. Not a terrible return for Vegas. They probably wanted a third, but they settled for a fourth and an additional day 3 pick as well. Kind of curious that Jacksonville is the team to trade for him. They're already light on draft capital after their draft day splash for Travis Hunter back in April, but Hunter is banged up right now on short-term IR, and Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't had a great year, so they're bringing in what they're hoping is a reliable weapon for Trevor Lawrence. Jags are sitting at 5-3. They make a move. Stay tuned. We got more last-minute NFL trade deadline rumors coming up next. It is officially NFL trade deadline day for 2025, and we are going to get into the last-minute trade buzz surrounding the league. My name is Harrison Graham. This is for Verts. Appreciate all the love and support you guys have shown recently. Deadline comes and goes today, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 Central, 1 o'clock on the West Coast. So we'll see what teams make moves here in the next few hours. And guys, I got to say, you guys crushed it yesterday. We were like 50 subs away from 13,000 on the channel, and we picked up you see the numbers, 700 new subscribers. So if you're new here, we publish daily and free NFL, college football content. Hopefully you'll stick with us after the trade deadline as well. And listen, can you guys go above and beyond? Can we get to 14,000? If you want free and daily football content, the coverage doesn't stop. Hit that subscribe button. 14,000 would be a dream if we got there today. Thank you guys so much. Okay, we are going to get into the latest trade rumors from 4 different insiders. The People's Insider first. Ricky Scoops, if you don't know him on Twitter, you should. At Ricky Scoops on Twitter. He's got a series of tweets here. We'll start with this one. He says the 49ers have been calling for a pass rusher the past few weeks. With Jalen Phillips traded, Niners could look to Bradley Chubb or Jermaine Johnson, 2 players they've called about. The Cowboys are also actively looking for an edge. Yeah, I think with the 49ers, they've just been decimated, right? Nick Chubb out for the year. Bryce Huff banged up right now. Mykel Williams out for the year. They've suffered a ton of injuries, but they're 6-3. They've found a way. If they can get a guy without breaking the bank, I think they would like to do it. The one big trade you wonder about is a Trey Hendrickson. Would they give a second-round pick to Cincinnati? I don't think they're getting a 1 for Hendrickson, Cincinnati being, so would they settle for a 2? Maybe the 49ers would give that. As far as Dallas is concerned, obviously they traded for Logan Wilson this morning. We'll get to that. We'll see if Jerry takes another swing here. I personally, I said this last night, I would not do that if that were the Cowboys. 3-5-1, crowded NFC. I wouldn't take that swing, but Jerry Jones loves being in the attention and the spotlight, so I wouldn't be surprised. All right, next one from Ricky here. Sounds like the Colts are calling teams and trying to land a corner before the deadline. Colts have also called the Bengals about Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson's clearly a name to watch today. Does he get moved? Does a team offer a 1? I would be shocked. I'm not convinced that teams are going to offer a 2, but if they do, will Cincinnati take that? I don't think the Bengals are taking a 3 or later, even though that's probably what I would offer, maybe a 3 and a day 3 pick, like a 3rd and a 5th, 3rd and a 6th. But if they get a 2, I do wonder if they would just bite the bullet and trade them. They've been non-committal on a long-term extension. Colts obviously have the connection to Lou Anarumo. They've been beat up in their secondary as well, so I would not be shocked if they made a move for a defensive piece. Ricky also adds this. This is in response to a Jordan Schultz tweet from earlier. He says, I believe the Broncos' holy crap move would be trading for Waddle. Can Penguins handle the high altitude? Maybe Jaylen Waddle is the big name to watch because it's pretty quiet right now. There's not a lot going on. Feels like Bradley Chubb could get moved. That would be a notable move. Trey Hendrickson's one to watch. Maybe Jaylen Waddle is another one to watch as well. If Denver added him to that offense, I will say this. Bo Nix has not been great throwing the ball vertically this year, and obviously Jaylen Waddle provides a deep threat, but maybe that's a connection that could build quickly, so we'll see. But you put Jaylen Waddle in that offense, that makes them pretty interesting. Another one from Ricky here. more on Bradley Chubb. This was kind of a follow-up to that original one, saying that the Cowboys and 49ers are the most likely destinations for him. Both teams have also reached out on Trey Hendrickson. So 2 big pass rushers, Bradley Chubb, Trey Hendrickson. Where do they end up? Dallas, San Francisco, potentially the Colts in the mix for those caliber players, and we'll see if anybody else gets in there as well. And then one more on the Cowboys front from Ricky. He says the Cowboys have an offer to the Dolphins for Minkah Fitzpatrick, but that would be the Cowboys' backup plan if they can't land a pass rusher. So Jerry is seemingly in an aggressive mode. He hopped on his radio show this morning in Dallas and said that they have a few other trades in the works, so keep an eye on that. Ricky confirmed that as well, so we'll see what Dallas does. I watch that team right now, and is Logan Wilson and Minkah Fitzpatrick, or Logan Wilson and a solid pass rusher changing that defense? I know they're going to get Marvin Overshown back, so I think it would improve things, but I mean, at 3-5-1 in a crowded NFC, they'd have to go 6-2 just to get to 9-7-1. I don't think that's getting you in the playoffs in the NFC. I think you got to get to 10 wins. So, what, they're going to go 7-1 the rest of the way? I don't think it's realistic, but the Cowboys seem to be in an aggressive mindset right now. Name a player that you want your favorite team to trade for. Who would you like to see your favorite team trade for? Drop his name down in the comments section below. Jordan Schultz, who's had some scoops recently as well. He had a few nuggets. He was, I believe, first on the Logan Wilson trade this morning. So want to give him credit for that, as Jerry Jones kind of hinted yesterday that they had a trade finalized. It's just a matter of playing last night and pulling the trigger. It appears this was that trade, which makes sense because I don't think you would have a trade agreed to with a big name and like hold that team, you know, and that team would agree to just wait before pulling the trigger. 7th round pick for Logan Wilson. I'm sure the Bengals were like, sure, play the game tonight, then get back to us. Excuse me. Trade deadline sneeze. My goodness. We'll try to recover from that. But Logan Wilson's been benched this year. I don't think he changes that much for Dallas. Maybe he's better than Kenneth Murray. I will say that. All right, more from Jordan Schultz and others coming up here in a moment. But first, today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. PrizePicks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in your same lineup. Want to pick your favorite quarterbacks more on his passing yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? You can do so all in the same lineup right now, only on PrizePicks. The way to make a lineup is simple. You pick 2 or more players and take more or less on their stat projections, all the way up to 6-player lineups. Simple 3-player 2-player lineup here that I did the other night. It was Dak Prescott more on his passing yards. Didn't quite get there. Jakobi Brissett actually did, but missed on that 2-player lineup. But we'll get back on the saddle here with PrizePicks, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Okay, Jordan Schultz saying that we'll see if any deals get done, but the 2 teams I'm watching today for a potential holy crap move trade are the Seahawks and the Broncos. And then this tweet we showed earlier from Ricky, he quote tweeted that Schultz tweet saying, I believe the Broncos' holy crap move would be trading for Jaylen Waddle. And then the Penguins joke there goes Waddle. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I don't know what that Seattle thing is. Jordan Schultz has kind of hinted at that. We'll get to Albert Breer in a sec. He talks briefly about the Seahawks as well. They're pretty loaded. I think they could use an interior offensive lineman. Could they take a big swing for a pass rusher potentially? I think it'd be one of those where, hey, we're already pretty good in all areas, but if we could just enhance an area even more, that would be the type of move. And maybe this is the deadline to do it if you're Seattle. I mean, the NFC feels wide open. The AFC, even like the typical good teams, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, they all have flaws. So maybe you just go for it if you're Seattle here. All right, we'll get to the latest from Albert Breer here, SI, as he had some stuff that I wanted to hit on. He resurfaced a column he wrote last Friday with some trade intel, but he quote tweeted it and added some stuff. He said the Seahawks are open to everything without really any discernible holes. Kind of what I was mentioning, like they would just be enhancing an area. Interior O-line, they could use a guard, but other than that, they don't have any major needs. Lots of teams looking for edge help. The Titans have been reasonable on the ask for Arden Key, probably like a 5th-round pick, I would guess. Mentioned the Vikings and Colts looking for corners. Others are too. Raiders have gotten calls on Eric Stokes. That's a new name to monitor. Saints driving a hard bargain on Alante Taylor, the nickel outside hybrid. And then I'd say it'd take a 3rd-rounder to get Breece Hall from the Jets and a 2nd-rounder to get Jermaine Johnson, which I think Jermaine Johnson for a 2, that feels like an overpay. He tore his Achilles last year. He's been good this year since he's come back, but I think that's a big ask from the Jets. David Njoku, I don't know why I wrote the word tweet on this graphic. That's my bad. Albert Breer did write in that article that he linked in that tweet that he's a name to watch, so I wanted to include him here when it comes to the trade deadline. Not a lot of tight ends being mentioned. I know Denver's interested in tight end help. He's a dynamic player, so maybe he would be a fun piece to add to Sean Payton's offense. And then lastly, from Josina Anderson, she just had one little nugget I wanted to hit. Not that this is surprising, but the Giants would like to trade Evan Neal, the guard tackle hybrid, today. It has not worked out for the former 1st-round pick. He's been a healthy scratch, I think, in every game this year. Maybe like a non-contender, like a young team would just do a pick swap, take a flyer on him. Like, I don't know, if you're the Titans or something, would you do a late-round pick swap and see if you can develop a former 1st-round pick? Get him in there, something like that, but you're not going to get much for Evan Neal. He has not panned out. All right, who will be the best player traded today? Let us know in the comment section down below. Best player traded today. Give us your thoughts on that. My name is Harrison Graham. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll have some kind of trade deadline reaction show after the deadline passes later today, so be on the lookout for that here on the channel. But until then, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for all the support. See you soon.